in the presentation. Okay.
Yes, we can see your screen. Perfect. So, good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us for this second day of the Teachers' Days meeting for the AAC 2024 in Helsinki. Um, so, as I was mentioning, I hope that everyone received the materials that we sent yesterday after the first day of event. If you have not received an email, it is possible that we did not get your email because, sometimes as an external, when you join our team meetings, you don't have your email address available to us. So if you have not received anything, no worries. Either you can put your email address in the chat right now, or we will make all the material available to your local Saint-Gobain leader who will be able then to send it to you. So no worries if you have not received the recap email, either put your address email here in the chat, or you can contact your local Saint-Gobain leader who will have access to the material as well. So quickly before we start with the agenda today, just a reminder of who we are, because I'm not sure that everybody who's here today was here yesterday. So I have with me Chimo. Claudia could not join us today, but she was there yesterday. And with me, we are part of the marketing team and working on the organization of the 2024 Architecture Student Contest. And we have our amazing team from Finland, Victor, Mikael, Anne, and Marianne, who are working with us for the 2024 ASC. And we also have today, and thank you again for joining us, two guests. So Antti from the city of Helsinki and Henrik from the University of Helsinki, and they will work with us to answer the questions that we collected from the Spark Up session. Um, so today, for the agenda, we will, as I mentioned, show you the questions that we collected on SparkUp. We have put everything in writing, and I actually saw one comment that was very relevant to have the questions and the answers written. So we will send you this presentation with question and answers at the end of the day, so that you have also a reminder of everything that was discussed. And so we collected all our questions, we have answered them. And if you have any additional questions or any additional comments today, it's also the time for you to ask any other question that you might have. I think without further ado, I can give you the floor, Timo.
Perfect. Thanks, Angela. Really. So again, thank you everybody for the questions you shared yesterday via the chat and via the SparkUp application. So here, and as Angela mentioned, we wrote down all the questions and we wrote down also the answers, and we're going to be sharing with you these afterwards. Also, we're going to include any additional comments you might have during this session for the questions and answers to be as complete as possible. So what we'll do right now is just go over some of the questions and answers, and as we go along, also the team from Saint-Gobain Helsinki, but also Antti and Henrik could comment if they see the need to give any additional explanation. So we received about 15 questions yesterday, which are all in this document. And I'll start with the first one. What historical information is available on all the buildings? And I also added some links that could give you some more insights on the topic. So for the Gardenia building, which was completed in 2001, it was previously a greenhouse garden with a section that had a tropical garden inside. And previous to 2021, it was not on operation until that year, which had a new tenant, which is a craft brewery, where today, although the structure stays the same, it's being used as a brewery shop, a bar, and a restaurant. So those are the activities that are currently inside, but it was previously a greenhouse. For building A, as we were mentioning yesterday, was built in the late 1990s, has been an office for the university staff since then, and the idea for the competition is to change its use. And the other topic in terms of historical importance, the Old Agricultural Museum. which was built in 1938, and due to problems related to mold, cannot be used any longer. And the proposal for the contest is to use those stone wall, the material from the wall, probably for landscaping or other type of use within the site, or recycling if it's something you see possible within the project. The second question is related to the old museum. Is any proposal from students expected? And as it was mentioned previously, the museum is not operational at the moment. It cannot be used. Thus the site is going to be demolished, but the stone walls could be used for recycling or landscaping, depending on the proposals that students can give to this site. And the idea is to integrate that area within the outdoor spaces or activities that could be proposed within each of the design projects from the students. If I go on to the next question, number 3. Besides dimensional surveys, is there structural information available for building B, which is the one under construction? So the current building B is a concrete structure with cladding with plywood. I don't know, Henrik, if you have additional information that you would like to share on the structure of the buildings to be demolished for residential housing.
I'm afraid I don't have anything specific, but I guess it's a concrete building with the, if you mean the curved office building, it's a concrete building with steel glass.
Yes.
This building B, the two L-shaped office
okay.
buildings.
Okay.
They have a concrete structure, bearing structure, and the cladding used to be plywood. It's now something that looks like plywood, because the plywood it didn't quite cope with the weather conditions over there, so it was changed a couple of years ago to some more synthetic material. But it is a building entity which we have thought that is going to be demolished, and it can be a site for a new building or buildings.
Yes. So for the building B, all the materials there will be demolished. If I go then to question number 4, and again, if you have any comments on, let's say, to write them on the chat, and then at the end of the questions we can go over them. The question number 4. It is a very nice building task and site. The curved shape of the existing building to be conserved will help to end up with a great architectural urban proposal. Do we have information about the use of the adjacent sites to the west? Will it remain as an empty land? So, as we presented yesterday, and I will
Did we lose the connection? We can't hear you.
Oops, sorry, there seems to be, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Ouais, j'ai envoyé un chat.
Attends, je vais quitter.
Ouais. Est-ce que moi, ça a l'air de fonctionner? Ça peut te reconnecter, toi? Ah. Okay. Sorry, we have a connection problem. Can you hear me?
Yes, no problem.
Yes.
Yes, I can hear you. Yes.
There's no problem.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes,
sorry, we have
yes.
a connection problem. Timo is going to join again, but maybe I can share my screen if you have a connection problem. Let me. Sorry, we are at the Saint-Gobain Tower, but sometimes it happens that even in our building, we have connection issues. So just wait a few minutes. Timo is reconnecting to share his screen again. No worries. Do you want me to share the presentation or no?
I just don't know why it went out.
Yes. A few seconds of suspense before the next question is answered.
Teams not connecting. I give it joined. It doesn't-
Well, otherwise I can. I'm still in the Teams. I will share my screen. Okay.
Then we can use your sound.
Yes. Can you hear us still?
Yes, and we see also the slides. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. So I think you can speak because I have my microphone on, and I think everybody should be able to hear you.
Okay. Can you share the
Yes.
know where we are?
Otherwise, you can take my computer.
Okay.
Let's just do it like this. Here you go.
Perfect. Sorry about that technological glitch on our side. Teams just went out. So as I was mentioning on question number 4, and if you had time to read it, just mention what is located near the site. So on the west side of the site, you have some grazing areas for animals, the Vicky Arboretum, and I included a link for you to see more of what is located there, and also the largest nature reserve in Helsinki. Towards the south, you have the Vicky Farm and some teaching and research facilities, and you can also look at this from the Google map. And then towards the east, you have more University of Helsinki buildings in their campus, and towards the north across the street, housing buildings, and closer to them, other university buildings located there. If I continue to the next questions, when talking about stories for the new building, it is referred to floors above ground levels. Yes. The task suggests 5 to 6 stories about ground level. At the moment, there are no height limits, so that's still flexible if you want to propose something different. And parking at the moment should be considered underground. Question number 6. In Helsinki, do houses have a more preferred orientation? There's not necessarily a preferred orientation, but you should evaluate the site, climate conditions, understanding that in Helsinki that you have long winters, so it is also to profit from the sun for heating, understanding what external views you have nearby, passive design strategies to meet the thermal, visual, acoustic, and air comfort requirements, and also consider that there will probably be external noise from the streets and the nearby transportation. So consider all of that in terms of, the best way to orientate the buildings and other type of aspects of the facade. If I go to the next question, would you like to introduce more about the industries around the site and the potential residents who would like to settle down in the area? In a part of the presentation that was shown yesterday, there's a little more information on the Vicky district and the projection. The district will host over 7,000 inhabitants, and the nearby buildings are a mix of residential, business, and teaching. So the area should be quite attractive for all types of people, students, professional, families. I don't know here, Henrik, Antti, if you have a comment to make on the target residents for the site.
Henrik perhaps can comment on the whether it will be student housing or not. But in general, as you said, it's very suitable for anybody. So it's not necessary to restrict or profile the future residents, but you can, of course, if it suits the idea. From our point of view, it's quite free. City of Helsinki doesn't. We try to achieve a social mix in new areas, so that we try to have affordable housing mixed with owner-occupied housing and other rental housing and so forth. But in this case, we are planning quite a large an area, so we have possibilities to mix it anyway, regardless of what the mix is going to be on this site. So from my point of view, there are no greater restrictions on the future residents.
Perfect. Thanks a lot for that comment. So it's open for students to propose type of mix if they think that would add to the proposal. Next question: is the residence of researchers open for all four colleges, or is it mainly open for certain college or adjacent colleges? Similar to the question before, housing for researchers should be open for all type of faculty, whether from the university, different faculties, or engaged researchers that come from abroad to Helsinki to carry out studies. So it's quite open on that side. I don't know, Henrik, if you have a comment on this specific other requirements.
Henrik, you are on mute. I don't know if you can hear me.
I didn't have my
Okay, now we can hear you.
Yes. I don't have any restriction, or the university don't have any restriction. It's for the competitions to figure it out, to make a balanced proposal, like a entity. I don't have comment for that. It might be even hotel or something like that.
Okay. So it's open in terms of a type of a user. So students have the freedom to propose many things. Sorry, I went one ahead. Yeah. So the next question. Okay. Number 9. I think it's. Sorry. Is it okay there? Yeah. Okay. The question number 9, is there any further introduction on how to evaluate LCA? Hopefully this will answer your question. We will continue as we did for the edition for Lisbon this year. We will continue to use a partnership with One Click LCA in a similar format as we did for last year. Where One Click LCA will provide access to the software to be used for the competition and provide some training sessions for students. From what I've observed, the last edition of the Student Architecture Contest, the students had access to the tools Carbon Designer 3D and the Levels ACL tools. I will confirm with them in the next couple of days but these were the tools that were provided for students for the Lisbon edition. And as
Sorry, Timo, it's Anne here from Team Finland.
Yes.
So I just asked actually from One Click LCA that what was the version and what they used, and I guess that it was exactly the Levels tool with Carbon Designer 3D and all the expert features. This allows students to do whole life cycle assessment of their designs and also use all features in One Click LCA. So it was not the planetary version that was mentioned yesterday. So
Perfect. Thanks, Anne, for confirming that. So it's exactly these two versions that they use for the Lisbon edition with all the functionalities. If we go to question number 10, it was similar to question number 4. Do we know the use of the adjacent sites? and what is to the west. So you can see question 4 for the complete answer. Question number 11, are there specific regulations for houses in your country? So as this is a contest, an ideation competition, all the technical requirements in terms of performance are included in the contest task, main related to the U values and other information related to the facade. So this for students to use that information in regards to the performance of the buildings to be proposed. Let me go to the next question. SketchUp energy consumption add-on was mentioned, if I got it correctly. Which one and three? Which is related to the next question, but I will try to break them down in two. So Saint-Gobain will make available a plugin that can be used for OpenStudio SketchUp, and that plugin is called Saint-Gobain Save International or Saint-Gobain Save AE. And it's a plugin that contains a database of Saint-Gobain products, and also allows automatic calculations of heat and loss drawn from a building done in SketchUp. And this plugin will be available by the end of July. For I don't know if by that time students will start to work on the competition, but it will be available, and then we'll put it on the Architecture Student Contest website for your access. Question number 3 is similar because it was talking about also energy calculations, but the question was, will energy and heat consumption calculation software be provided or recommended? Or more importantly, will the schedules and setup for energy consumption be provided, or will the teams set them as they best see fit? So for the last part of this question, students should provide occupation schedules as they best see fit, depending on the different spaces, whether it's, the residential spaces or common areas, etc. For the building design. So it's open for them to propose the scheduling setups and other. And in terms of software, students are free to use any calculation software, whether it's Energy Plus via SketchUp, Design Builder, or other software that are available. Nevertheless, as I mentioned before, we were related to the plugin that we're providing. We recommend potentially using OpenStudio SketchUp, which not only integrates the Energy Plus plugin to do energy calculations, but can also the students can also use the Saint-Gobain Save International plugin with a product database. Also, the recommendation is probably to, if it's not within the architectural faculty, maybe check with other faculties within universities to see what type of building energy model they use. But if we summarize, if students have the possibility to use a OpenStudio SketchUp, they can integrate the plugin that we're going to be providing to do the energy calculations coupled with the Saint-Gobain product database. If I go to a next question, any site plans available? And in the documents that were sent yesterday, you will see, hopefully you have seen a folder that contains a AutoCAD or a DWG file where you can see the site, its limits, and the boundaries for each of the buildings, and also several PDF files with information on sections and views for the other buildings. Lastly, I think this is the last question. Is there more information on the Japanese garden? For us, the Japanese stone garden on the Gardenia plot wasn't necessarily large. A Japanese garden is so-called a rock garden, so it does not necessarily contain cherry trees, bonsai, etc., which is part of the imagery of the Japanese garden that usually brings to mind. The part of the plot along Hack Island Road already has the possibility of building on it. The plan is not being changed. If the garden is to be kept, which is the case, you can see that in the picture, the delineation of the limits of what needs to be remaining. And I think with this, in terms of the questions we received until yesterday, that was it. I don't know if there's only, let me check if there are other questions on the chat. I see a question from Gerardo. Are there bike paths close by? And answer yes. Yes, there are pathways, both for pedestrians and bike traffic. And I don't see any other questions. So with that, I leave it open, for general comments that you might have. I would like to hear, what do you think about the projects? Are there specific challenges you foresee? I leave the floor open also to Antti and to Henrik if they want to complement, but it would be for us interested to hear from you teachers about the project, the task, what's ahead, if you foresee any type of additional information that would help you better address this with your students. Any comments? If not, I can let Anne and Gabriel take over.
Thank you.
I try to connect with myself.
No, I don't think we have any questions in the chat. But
Actually,
you know-
sorry, Anne Gabriel, there is a question now in the chat.
Yes, is there a document or website available on the existing public transport routes in the study area, bus, tram, public bicycles, etc.? So do we have a document available on the existing public transport routes?
Maybe Antti can comment that. So I guess we can find that in the internet, the public transportation map.
Yes, we don't have it ready, but we can provide it. I start looking.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I
this
guess-
is something that you can provide, and we will make it available once we have it. If we can make it available to all the Saint-Gobain local leaders, and they can share it with you once we have it available. Do we have any other questions? Let me stop sharing my screen so I can see the chat just for a second. No, so far I don't see anything else. So if we don't have any other questions, I'll talk to you about the next steps. So, okay, I know that it's a lot of information, to digest and to take on. So we have sent you, all the documentation, the contest task. Also, you have plans of the area. So if you have any other questions, you always can ask them to your local Saint-Gobain leader, who will get them to us to keep the conversation going. And what we also do is we have this document, which is a very useful tool that we call the recommendation book. So the recommendation book is a sort of a tool from one teacher to another, and we will send you a link so that you can put your input on the contest task. So it's not really about your question, but it's more about how you understand the contest task. If you have any relevant comments, so last year we had some teachers who put their comment on what is the most challenging part for them and how they understand it. We also have, because this year, it's in Lisbon, Portugal, we had some professors from Lisbon who, added some comment about Lisbon or about the university as well to help other teachers better understand the contest and the context as well. So this year, if we have people from Helsinki who want to give their feedback or even more information, please feel free to do so. And it's really a tool from one teacher to another. So what do you foresee that can be a challenge, what you understand about one part of the contest. If you have any feedback also to make the contest task clearer. So yesterday we sent you the document called contest task. And when you read through it, so we are leaving you a week until next Wednesday to make all your comments. We will send you after this meeting a link to a forms for your comment. So you have a week to read through it. And if you think that maybe something should be more explicit, something is not super clear for you, or you have any feedback on the contest task, it's also a way for us to build the task so that it's better understood for you and for your students, and that you have all the tools at your disposal to have a very successful architecture student contest on your end. So we collect all your feedback, all your relevant information, anything that you think might help building the contest task or how you understand the contest task. We will send you the link, as I said. You have 1 week to read through everything, put your comments, and then we build the recommendation book and we will send it to everyone and to all your local leaders as well. So as I was saying, I saw that some people put their email address in the chat. You can either leave us your email address here if you did not receive our email yesterday, or we will also have all the material available from your Saint-Gobain local leaders. So, your point of contact, they will have everything at hand. Do you have any question on the recommendation book so far? Or is it clear for you? No, I don't. No question. So everything is clear. It's perfect. And so just to give you an overview of what it's going to be like. So in 2023, we had the Teachers' Day yesterday and today. We have the 2023 Architecture Student Contest, where I think maybe we will meet some of you at the end of June in Lisbon. And in September, we launched the student contest for 2024, meaning that we launched the online trainings because we have online trainings for the students, for you, the teachers as well. Every session is recorded, but we will give you more information through your local Saint-Gobain leader, of course, when the time comes. On April 26, 2024, is our recommended date for the end of your national stage. So the competition in each country to select the winning team who will represent the country from June 10th to June 12th in Helsinki in Finland. So this overview of the schedule will be in the presentation that we're going to send you. And as I was saying, if you have a question, your Saint-Gobain local leader will be your point of communication, and they will have all of the information needed. I don't think that we have any more questions.
No, I don't see anything else on the chat.
Okay, so there's one tradition that we do every year. It's take a little picture of everyone who was here. So if you agree with it, and if that's okay for you, what we'd like to do is a nice souvenir and a nice way to end the Teachers' Day is for everyone to put their camera on, and we'll just take a little picture of everyone to have a souvenir. Oh, actually. I know Angie just shared extra information on the public transportation. We will put that in the presentation to send it to you. Someone is saying that their camera is KO. Is it an excuse or is it true?
Camera, you have something there.
Yeah. Do I have my camera? Oh. Let me see.
We see your background, but not your
not
your face.
Not me. So even me, I'm not doing it right. I know why. Okay, now you should see me. Okay. Let's try to have everyone in the chat.
Good crowd.
Yes, we have a good crowd. Thank you so much. And Leah, can you take the picture or do you?
I can try, yeah.
Yes. You give us the countdown?
Yes, sure. Everyone smiles in 3, 2, 1.
ASC.
Click.
Click. Okay for you?
Yeah.
Okay, well that's it for the picture. Thank you so much. I think I have a question. 24th April, the students return the project to the national jury. So actually it depends on each in each country, but I think Leah, tell me if I'm wrong. For the 26th, I think it was for us the day that the results were published. So the national stage usually happens during the month of April, and at the end of April we have the name of the winning teams for each country. Usually it's around this timeline. It can vary depending on countries, but usually it's during the month of April. You do your national stage. The teachers, and your students do the presentation in front of the national jury, and then by the end of April, we have the names of the winning teams who will have the privilege to go to Helsinki in June. Usually, it's this type of schedule. Well, if we don't have any other questions, I'm going to thank you very much for joining us, for all your questions and your comments. We will send you the presentation that we shared today, so you have a written answers to the question that were asked. We'll also send you the link so you can input your comment or further questions on the contest task, and we will build the recommendation book for you. And I wish you all a very nice end or beginning of the day, depending on where you are. And thank you so much, and see you soon. I hope either in Lisbon, for those of you who participate in the 2023 ASC, or in Helsinki next year.
See you, everybody.
Thank you too.
Looking forward.
Thank you. Bye.
See you.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Goodbye.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Yeah, bye bye.